in your book, you say that it is also true that the Stoics turned out to be overly optimistic about how much control human beings have over their own thoughts. Nietzsche had coined the phrase amor fati, love your fate. Let's get your take on this. Where do you stand on free will and agency? You brought it up as well, that the only thing that is in our control is our judgment. I want to expand that even further. What is really in our control? Can you even go as far as saying that maybe even judgment is not in our control, because that could be just a result of some neurological impulse that we're just reacting on? Do you think we have any agency, or is everything cause and effect, deterministic, determined?
Right. That is a good question. So the Stoics, I think, have had, the ancient Stoics, a very reasonable notion of cause and effect. So they thought that the universe is made of matter, that everything that has causal powers is made of stuff. It's made of things. And that everything belongs to a sort of a broad web of cause and effect. Nothing happens unless it's caused by something else. No miracles, no supernatural, nothing. I mean, they believed in a God, but the God turned out to be nature itself. So it's like, Einstein's God, as you had it here, right? So that means that would seem to suggest that the Stoics don't believe in free will. In fact, they didn't. If by free you mean not causally connected with the rest of the universe, no, there is no such a thing as free will in that sense.
Okay.
But there is a will. We do make decisions. Modern psychologists don't use usually the word free will. They use the word volition, which interestingly is in fact the same word that the Stoics used. Epictetus used prohairesis, which means literally volition, the ability to make decisions. In a sense, one good way to think about it is that we evolved as highly sophisticated decision-making machines. When I said that our evolutionary weapon is our brain, and which allows us to make decisions, to arrive at judgments, and then to act or not to act on those judgments, that's pretty much what we are. So when the Stoics said, okay, everything is cause and effect, they also realized, let me step back there for a second. These days, in contemporary philosophy, especially some popular authors like Sam Harris, for instance, would say, oh, there is no free will, and they bring up this image of us as sort of puppets, right? That our strings are moved by the forces of the universe, right?
Yep.
Well, the Stoics would look at that and said, no, it doesn't. There are no strings, because the causal powers of the world not only are externals, they're also internal. I mean, it's not like we are inert internally. We are actually making decisions all the time. We're analyzing data from our senses, and our brain is making decisions all the time. The web of cause and effect doesn't stop outside of us. It goes through us. So when we make a decision, it is both the result of external forces, for sure, but also the result of internal processing, of internal mechanisms. And one of the things that they emphasized is that external forces are whatever they are, right? And they're not up to you. They're definitely not under your control. But the internal forces, the internal decision-making mechanism actually can be improved over time. Because we get better, growing up means, among other things, becoming better and better at making decisions. Maturing emotionally means exactly that you're becoming better and better at making decisions. When we say, oh, that person is wise, right? Because they have lived a long time and they have learned from their experiences. Because just living a long time doesn't make you wise. It probably makes you cranky, but not wise. What makes you wise is having a lot of experience, but also being able to process that experience and learn from that experience and put what you learned into practice. Well, all of that means you're getting better and better at making decisions. So when we say that some things are up to us, what really the Stoics mean is that us is the internal machinery that we have, mostly the brain, although not entirely. Today we understand, unlike the Stoics, for instance, modern science understands that cognition is embodied. It's not just the brain. Our nervous system goes everywhere, and we make decisions by using the entirety of our nervous system, not just the brain. Although the brain is a big part. It's the big, and especially the frontoparietal lobes of our brain. That's where modern scientists will tell you our executive function resides. Mm-hmm. And interestingly, the Stoics also talked about an executive function. They call it the hegemonikon in Greek, which literally means the ruling faculty. So what they thought was that, look, not everything we think is actually conscious and deliberate. It's not up to us. I can have all sorts of what we would call today autonomic thoughts. Stuff comes in to my mind and then goes out the other way. And I'm not even aware of a lot of these things. A lot of our reactions are automatic, and we don't really have control. For instance, if you come close to me and you just flick your finger near my eyes, I'm gonna blink. I cannot not blink. It's an automatic reaction. It's just, that's going to happen. Or if you say something that I find embarrassing, I'm going to blush. And Seneca, one of the ancient Stoics, said, you have no control over that. Don't worry. It's not up to you. It is a result of mental, functioning, but it's not really up to you. However, if you ask me, Massimo, would you be available next Monday at noon for an interview? That is something that is up to me in the specific sense, not that I have free will and I'm somehow independent of the rest of causality in the universe, but that my internal decision-making machine looks at the calendar and says, yes, I am. I'll be there at noon on Monday. Importantly, if I'm not here at noon on Monday, you will think that I'm responsible for it. You will not say, oh, well, the causality of the universe has gotten in the way of doing the interview, and too bad. You actually will call me up, possibly upset, and say, hey, where the hell are you, right? I am responsible in that sense. Even people like Sam Harris, who make a big show of these puppets and strings kind of stuff, they are proud of what they're doing. He's happy about being a successful author and podcaster, etc. They're probably ashamed of some things that I've done. I don't know him personally, so I don't know what he might be ashamed of. But we all do. And the Stoics will say, of course, because some of those things are the result of your internal machinery, and so you are responsible in that specific sense, not in any metaphysical sort of bizarre fashion, but just in the sense that those were your decisions. And so you are responsible in the sense that those came from you. They came from your internal machinery. And who else am I going to hold responsible for it?
Very interesting perspective. And very different from Sam Harris's idea of the system, which has got these external influences. The perspective you laid out is more like a control systems and an engineering term where there's a feedback loop and it's all part of the same system. So
in a sense, if you think about it, I mean, maybe some of your listeners or viewers might not like the analogy, but I think it's accurate. We're kind of a very sophisticated AI system, except that it's not artificial. It's natural. It's a natural intelligent system. And that's what intelligent systems do. Not only they make decisions, sometimes complex, sophisticated decisions, but they're capable of learning from their experiences and making future decisions even better. So that's what we are. We're naturally intelligent systems.